Welcome to my Vulva and Me release extravaganza. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Briz The Revival. We came to have a good time. Clap it up for my girl Brittney. Hey! We came to make you feel good. We came to make you feel alive. It's gonna fall in love. Hey. Are y'all ready? Hey. Look across the room, baby. Oh, that it's so late. So my heart was full of break. You need a break. Take it, break it, maybe make it. Feel until I'm so glad down. Looks like the lady she was playing something with underneath. My love's an apathy. Carry us out to me. Love will be sugar and sweet. That's when you shine down. And I love her. Oh no, was in your eyes and myself. And now all I see with my eyes is I love her. Oh no, was in your eyes and myself. Now all I see with my eyes is if you appease me, big holding up and leaving on high for mercy, abandoned lonely, no love to love me in, come back round. Big eyes you have to see me, big ears you have to hear me, crying how to leave me, how could you leave me, how could you put me off a cliff and watch me drown? Hey y'all, welcome to my Vulva and Me release extravaganza. in the comments. Clap it up for my girl Brittney. We are Briz The Revival. This song is called All Matter. We're on the stage, also very feel my mind. Ain't nothing new, but it's always changing, moving still waters, songs, oh, heart, what love, outside, outside. All you gotta do is realize you may be mad. All you gotta do is realize. Just like a raindrop in the sea, all matter. Hey, it all matters. Yeah. What is love? What is love? Outside, outside. All you got to do is anything but love. All you got to do is okay, don't stand in the way. You only make it hard. Just keep on going with the flow of emotion. Where you should be. Hey. Keep going, keep going, keep going. What is love? What is love? Outside, I'm working on these, y'all. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. I got a little live audience. It's COVID, so we're outside in my driveway. I'm so excited to be here this evening. Again, my name is Briz. The band is The Revival. It's a little chilly, but we gladly play the music for the people. This song is called Crimea River. It's originally made by Justin Timberlake, but we do our own thing. Yeah. You were my sun, you were my earth, and I bet you didn't know all the ways I loved you. No, you took a chance, made some other plan. You didn't think the veil would come crashing down. No, you don't have to say what you did. I already know. I found out from you. Now there's just no chance for you and me. There will never be. Gonna make me sad. Told me you love me, then you leave me. Now you tell when you need me, call me on the phone. Boy, you got me confused. Oh, girl, bridges have burned, now it's your turn. Ride me a river. Cry me a river, cry me a river, cry me a river. You know how they say some things are better left unsaid. It wasn't like you only talked to her, and you know it, so act like you don't know it. All of these things people told me, people that you in my head. But I can't promise you, maybe if you wouldn't have known it. Told me you love me, and you leave me all alone. Now you tell me you need me when you want me on the phone. Boy, I really want me to know. So I'm sure. Bridges that burn, now it's your turn. Right, right, told me you love me, then you leave me alone. Tell me you need me when you call me on the phone. Boy, I refuse, got me confused with some other girl. Yes, the extravaganza. It continues. Let's dance. I'm not thin. I am something that you never understand. I'll never beat you. I'll never lie. And if you're evil, I'll forgive you by and by. 'Cause you, I would not go. Darling, if you want me to, you, I would not go. I am something that you never comprehend. No need to worry, no need to cry. You're the Messiah and you're the reason why. Oh, you, I would have told you. Darling, if you want me to, you, I would have told you. Let's sing it one more time, say you, hey, I would have told you. Darling, if you want me to, you, yeah, I would have told you. Listen, I've been told, give you fire when you go, make you happy when you sad, when you want that. I am human, I am love, I am done. I really need to know that you believe. I would have told you. Darling, if you want me to, yeah, I would have told you. No more time, baby. Yeah, I would have told you. Darling, if you want me to, you, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Again, welcome to the My Vulva and Me Release Extravaganza, hosted by yours truly, Brittney Broaddus-Smith, the acclaimed faith-based sex educator. Yes.
Briz!
Hey, child.
Oh my God. I mean, listen. I knew it was going to be decent, but like I didn't know it was going to be deep. I was back here at stage like, and Crimea River, I need that recorded.
You better body roll.
I need that to bump in the car. Oh my goodness. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you. First of all, you see my mic?
I do, girl. I love it.
Let me hold on. I'm finna turn.
Power off.
Oh wait, now I'm turning it back on.
The Bluetooth device.
Hold on, because I need y'all to hear this. Can you hear me? Can you? There it is. Hey y'all!
Oh my goodness.
To the My Vulva and Me Release Extravaganza. where we are going to celebrate all things My Vulva and Me. And we're going to start it off by having a quick conversation with our amazing opening act, the Brandy Briz Grove. Not only did Brandy open for us tonight, but she also, and plus also, wrote and sang our theme song, because our anthology has a theme song because we're just that. And she is a featured artist and author inside the book. Okay, all of the things she is. And I want to say, I've said this to you before, but I want to say it in front of you, God, and all of the people watching. I am so eternally grateful for you. And I consider meeting you and being connected with you an absolute blessing.
Oh my God, the feeling is beautiful.
Thank you. Your spirit is like so heartwarming and so infectious. Just like you are a walking ball of joy. You know, I say all the time, I choose joy.
Yes, girl. I do
You are the embodiment of joy. So your story.
Wait, are you speaking into my life right now?
Oh, Corey, come on. So tell the people what your is and why you wrote it.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you because the band is playing.
Come on, Ben. So I said, tell everybody what your piece is and why you wrote it. What's the story behind your story?
Oh, my piece is I Die Daily. Since 2016, my mother passed away. In 2017, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I don't know, I know you know, the feeling of losing a mother is unexplainable. It's somebody, and so it's like there's no home. And then to be diagnosed with breast cancer and to face mortality, it was like every day I had to decide to be alive. But when I looked in the mirror, I did not see myself. I looked like an alien. My hair was bald. My face was discolored. I had my breast removed. And so I looked in the mirror and did not see myself. And every day I felt like I would die and be reborn. I had to choose to be reborn though. Every day I felt like a death. But then every morning also I heard God say, I'm with you. And I'm his glory because of it. That's what my t-shirt's about. Because every morning when I look in the mirror and I saw and still sometimes see death, God says, I'm here with you and I'm able to live again. So that's what my piece is about.
You know what, Brandy? You said something. Just the word that you're saying again. I know I lost my mom in 2017, and it really is just regardless of the relationship that you have with a mother or a parent, losing them shifts you in a way that is really like there's no words to explain it. You kind of just have to experience it, and then you have our unique me, you, your sister, and my sister. We have our way of dealing. And everybody can't deal with that. I have a couple friends watching when I go down my mommy joke trail. They're comfortable. But the reality of it is it changes you in a way. And I feel you took that challenge, your battle with breast cancer, your victory over breast cancer. You took it, like you grabbed the bull by the horn and you welcome that change in a way that is really awe-inspiring. And it's like almost, and then the thing is that what I most honor about you and respect about you is your transparency. Like you are very open on social media and other places about your struggles. And it really helps other folks, particularly other Black women, to, like I say this all the time, get off of the tryouts for the Grin and Bear Olympics. Like you open, like, I'm struggling. What's up? Any recommendations? Anybody need help? Anybody can send help. And I really appreciate that. So what do you think your story, what the now that you've shared what's behind the story, all things, what do you think that offers for, I know it offers for me, but what do you think in your words that offers to another Black woman?
I think what it offers is an opportunity to look at ourselves as that, just the clay. There's a scripture that speaks about us being just clay, and the light is in us. We're not the light. And if the pot is broken, guess what happens? People get to see the light that's inside of us. So if you can be transparent and let people see those cracks, then you will get to ooze God glory, and people will be able to continue on in their own journey. Sharing your journey helps other people because we overcome by the word of our testimony.
Come on. Come
That's
on.
all I got.
That was oh, come on here, come on here, lady. Come on here, Lady Grove. Yes. Come on here. Okay. Yes. So why did you decide? Because I remember when you submitted your piece, you were like, I struggled with this one. I wasn't going to do it, but here it is.
Mm.
Why was it such a struggle? And how do you feel now that it's out, that it's there? Like it's out there. We're good to go. Everybody's finna see it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I feel better. I feel more empowered. Like I said, when I saw myself in the mirror, I saw an alien. And this was a part of just my self-acceptance. When we did your first web series and we were talking about, are you sexy? What is sexy? Do you feel sexy? And I'm like, nah. I've divorced myself from my body.
Wow.
Even when I was going through cancer, I wasn't mad at God. I was mad at my body. Like
Wow.
I felt betrayed.
Wow.
And so being able to share the art that I made and my poem, it just kind of it connected me back to myself. Now I'm not all the way there yet, but it was helpful in that way.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so very much. The two, like, thank you, Ben. I
She saying thank you,
y'all.
Ben.
See y'all. Now y'all know my Vulva in me is for, by, and about Black women. So y'all are guests in this house, and we appreciate y'all for showing up and behaving accordingly. We really appreciate it. So Brittney, thank you so much, and we will check back with the band later on this evening. But again, I'm so glad to know you, and I can't even imagine the great things that are ahead for you. And make sure, tell the people right now where they can get, if it's still available, your I Am God's Glory shirt.
You can go to my website, brizonline.com. It's BRIZ online.com. And you can follow me on all the social medias in that way, Briz Online. Hey.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Brittney.
Everybody, give wherever you are in your house, in your respective places, give Briz the Revival a hand clap. Yeah, I think
Brittney
them later on. Thank you. All right, y'all. Y'all see me? First of all, is you looking? You see, I'm looking how I'm looking. You already know this right here. Lisette Brown of Lily Rose, because you know that's exclusive, a Black woman, amazing Black woman, mother, first lady. All she does 1,000,001 things, and she still has time to beat down on little old me. This should be a crime, assault and battery, because she beat this here face. Y'all see it? But anyway, I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for just taking your time. You could have been doing anything else on this Sunday, and you are here with me. You all have been with me since July. We started this journey in July. In a pandemic, we did, like, after we had the web series in May, season 1, and then I was like, it's more to this story. There are more to our story. So we put out the call for submissions, and they came pouring in. And then it got to the point where it's just, you know how some of us do, to the last minute, and y'all was begging for extensions, and I wasn't finna do it. But our wonderful publishers, well, no, let me rephrase that. That ain't the case. I said, okay. The publisher, Brittney, she said no. But we did it anyway, and we got 30 of the most amazing stories. And we realized very early on that this is just the surface, and we're going to need a volume 2. But we'll hear more about that later on. But I want to give you all a glimpse into why the authors submitted their stories, what they feel like their stories can mean for other people, what it means for them to have this is their business. This is tea. A couple weeks ago, I said, this is like a transcription of testimony service at a church whose slogan is "We real, not religious." And then when they curse a little bit and the ushers start closing in and the pastor be like, "Let them go." That's what my vulva is. So I want you to hear not from me, because of course I love everything about it, but I want you to hear a little bit directly from the women, so a few women in a few of the authors, in the book. So we have a little presentation.
What does my vulva and me mean to me? It means that I get to help another woman of color who may be going through what I went through as a new mom and as a wife. As a Black woman, there are so many things that were passed down from generations about our bodies. A lot of negative stereotypes, a lot of myths, all kinds of things, and they end up becoming in our inner voice in the bedroom, in our intimacy with our partners as we grow older. And so I'm happy to be honest and be candid about one of the things that everybody loves to talk about, but nobody's being honest about. And so I'm happy to have my piece be shared with the world, but I'm also very nervous as someone who is transparent. But this taboo topic is something that I struggled with in silence. And so I'm hoping that by talking about it with other women, I can let them know that they're not alone, and let them know that it could be a lot of different things that could be happening at the same time, and that there is a fix for it. So super excited to be a part of this piece. I hope that my piece is enjoyed by others, and just know that you are not alone.
I was very hesitant to share this part of my story because although I am very transparent, this story in particular, I had just recently really began to deal with it. And so just being able to share this, hopefully it will bring the same form of healing to another woman who may have found themselves in this situation in the way that it healed me. And so although I'm very hesitant, I am very excited to see the ripple effect and to see the many women whose lives will be changed because of my bravery.
Is what does your piece offer to the lives of other Black women? And I am specifically speaking on Weight Loss Me. And Weight Loss Me has been a part of my life since I was probably 6 years old, when my father told me that I need to work out and lose weight. And honestly, it's super challenging. I still struggle with my weight, and I think I've lived with this my whole life. My body being regulated by other family members telling me I should lose weight. Society telling me, maybe not like verbally telling me, but with their images, like you should be smaller, you should be skinnier, you should be this, you should be that. And so I want to just offer some solace to Black women that like our bodies are beautiful the way they are. And I am still working on that journey for myself. Like, I don't always believe that my body is beautiful the way it is. And I think once we embrace our bodies as they are, we can go on the journey of losing weight if that is what you want. I think health is the most important thing. And so for me, being healthier is important because I have a 3-year-old son and I want to grow up with him and, you know, break the cycle of obesity. But my body is not going to look like what everybody else's body looks like.
Hi lovers, it's me, Dr. Lex, and I am a part of My Vulva and Me. I get to contribute a short essay, and I was asked to share how I felt about that essay being read by the world. I'm scared, okay? That's what I am. I'm scared. I wrote about something truly intimate to me in an experience that was hard. It spoke to the value of myself, to how much I was wanted. And I thought if I could just fix this thing, I would be wanted. And I wasn't. So there was a lot of shame. There's embarrassment. There's not a drip of audacity and swag in my story because it was so hard for me. And such a learning moment. And I hope as you read My Vulva and Me, you have those too. You recognize that you're not alone, that these situations aren't embarrassing and should not be shamed. And I hope when you read it, you get some of those epiphanies and you get to relinquish some of that stuff. So read, enjoy, take what's useful and leave what's not. But I am honored to be one of the voices that gets to share in this narrative story. Thanks.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much again for those of you just joining us. This is My Vulva and Me, the release extravaganza. And My Vulva and Me is an anthology for, by, and about Black women. I am Brittney Broaddus-Smith, the visionary author for this work, and I myself and 30 other Black women partnered together to tell our stories, to show the diversity that is Black womanhood through our trials, our triumphs, our struggles, our generational commonality and cultural commonalities. We went through things or stories that just make us realize that we're not as far apart as we think we are. But we also recognize that there's no such thing as one type of, there's no such thing that Black women is just one kind of way. So when you answer the question, what does it mean to be a Black woman? Every person you ask are going to answer a different question, answer it in a different way. And these stories, show that Black women are diverse, Black women are dynamic, Black women can be Black women are amazing, Black women can be terrible, Black women can grow, Black women can be immature, Black women can be the baddest thing walking, Black women are the baddest thing walking, be clear there. But the thing is that what this book shows is our truth about who we are. And one of the things that we don't often talk about, I can't see, and I'm trying to be cute, and my glasses didn't match this here outfit. And so I really can't see from this far of a distance. I have to excuse the telephone. All right, I'll make sure I was on track time-wise. So one of the things that people often struggle with and not want to talk about, particularly when you are a Black woman, because we're not allowed to have certain conversations about sex and sexuality without being pigeonholed into certain stereotypes. There are thoughts about people who have policed Black women's bodies and sexualities since the time that we were shackled and stolen from our land and brought here in chains. From the time of slavery to even present day, Black women are seen for their bodies and their sexuality. And then when you added faith into it, it also complicates the situation even more. And I can't think of one person who understands that struggle more than our next guest. First of all, I just want to say that I absolutely adore this woman, okay? And I don't think that she knows, I don't think I've ever told her this, but we first met in person or talked on the email and then in person and all of that in October of last year. But just a few weeks before that, I was watching her show and one of my colleagues and favorite people in the world, Melissa Pintor Carnegie, founder of Sex Positive Families, was on the show. And I was just like, wow, that is the type of platform that I would like to be on to have these kind of conversations, because I think she gets it and she will be able to understand the message and where I'm going. And literally, like no exaggeration, 2 weeks later, I presented at a conference that was connected with one of my other favorite people in the world, Shamira Howard Blackburn, who connected me to our next guest. And it has been all the things since then. So I thought when conceiving of this book, we need to have a foreword, obviously. And I was like, I know who I want to ask. I took it to Facebook. I was like, listen, I want to shoot this shot. It's a big shot. It's like half court. It's like Steph Curry, like buzzer beater. It's like Robert Horry, Lakers Spurs series, like boom, like it's that kind of shot. And everybody was like, do it now. And I did it. And she said yes. And because my shot went in, Melissa Fredericks wrote the foreword for My Vulva and Me. Let's have a conversation hear me what I'm saying. I am introducing, standing here, look at how I'm looking, because this is God. Introducing Melissa Fredericks, who wrote a foreword for a book that I created. God is good. Don't y'all tell me that God can't do what he can do. Even in the midst of a pandemic with 2020 and Corona running amok, God is still in the blessed business. So welcome without further ado, our foreword author, Melissa Fredericks.
That was freaking fantastic. First of all, you look amazing. That's first. That's facts. Okay. And then second of all, anytime you communicate with me, it's never a long distance shot. I'm always a yes. It's just a matter of when I read my emails.
No, but for real, because I was sitting there and he was like,
girl, the way my
but
life
you know what it is? You know what it is? Like, you're being genuine in that. I really know that, like, my friends and I was like, just call her. And I'm like, because the thing is that as much as I feel like we're cool and I believe like you say that, it's still business. And I always want to respect your space at all times. If I'm sending you a text message like, girl, did you see? That's the thing. But hey, let's talk business. I want to make sure that you take it in a time where you are in business mode, because you do all the things.
Trying, girl, trying.
Literally. And I want to be respectful of that. I don't want to get way too familiar that then
nice.
To get across. So that really was what that was.
Oh, thank you. That's really, I really appreciate that. Honestly, I appreciate you, your platform, the wisdom that you bring into my life every time you're on my platform. And more importantly, I love the full 360 well-roundedness that you are. Like, that's my absolute favorite piece. So let's get to, and first of all, let's talk about this microphone. Is that gold?
I mean, do you see it? Do you see it?
God, and give us a fabulous Oprah Winfrey. Okay.
I said, you know what? I'm not playing small today. I'm not being humble. I'm not doing that. I look good.
Yeah, I mean, with a T, okay?
I'm quite proud. And the thing is that I think that being able to I talked about this in my Vulva and Me season 2. I allowed our guests to introduce themselves because I feel like Black women don't get enough space to stand like, I'm dope. Like, I did a lot of stuff. Like, we play small, we want to be humble. And the thing, you don't want to be cocky. And, there is a difference. But the thing is that if you did something well, you did well. And then you want to give folks their flowers when they're here. Like, Lisa Brown beat this face.
Come on.
I want to get,
come close so we can see it. First of all, I had already seen it because I think you posted an up close picture of it. And I was like,
get what I'm getting. So if you can, you wrote in the forum, I'm only gonna give them a little teaser.
Okay.
That I can specifically remember feeling ashamed and embarrassed having conversations about sex with my own husband. Make it make sense.
Girl.
Why do you feel that is something that doesn't make sense?
What doesn't make sense is the idea that God created this body and he called it good, and he created sex, and the context in which God says this is an okay situation to have sex, I'm feeling ashamed of everything. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to almost be taught the reward of marriage is sex and then get in the context and feel so uncomfortable, so unfamiliar, so ashamed. None of that makes sense. So what does that mean? We need to start back at square one, because some teaching is off. Some teaching is wrong. Some teaching is not connected. And so I have been on like a personal journey that is reprogramming of my mind, but also helping those people that are in the same position as me. I use this definition quite often, actually, where I say brainwashing is being confronted with the truth and still holding on to the lie. And I feel like that's what I'm in right now, is fighting against all of that those wrong teachings and misrepresentations and all of those things, disinformation, that's the age we're in anyways, and reprogramming myself to line up what truly the word of God says and how I think and operate in my own life. So no, it doesn't make sense, child, but I'm over here trying to make it make sense.
Awesome. So now as you go throughout the rest of the forward, which you all need to, in order to read it, you have to
get it, okay?
You have to buy the book. And until midnight, if you use the code, y'all know that this is about mommy. My mother passed, and we'll talk about that more. But for those who are going to, people jump in and out of lives.
Sure.
The code Lisa, Lisa, and you will get $5 off only until midnight. Literally at midnight. Like, don't wake up tomorrow morning thinking you're going to get it, because it's not going to be.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Grab your copy today. But so as you go throughout the rest of the forward, you talk. What you get from reading is this sense of freedom, right? Now you're moving and your growth. And if anybody who follows Melissa, her platform, the Love Hour, if you don't, you should. And if you don't, were you living under a rock? Like, I don't. Anyway, you speak about this journey and Melissa 2.0, and then now like Melissa, I call it Melissa Elite. Elite version right now. What does that freedom feel like?
Oh my gosh. It feels like, this almost made me emotional. It feels like, I've always talked about, there is a Melissa-shaped space in this world. There is a Brittney-shaped space in this world. And we are often crouching in our own space. I've said this a gazillion times. Freedom is stretching and standing tall in your space. Mm-hmm. It's not restrictive. It's not this. It's not, you're not tight. You're not tense and you feel like you can't move. That's not freedom. Freedom is fully exhaling, extending your spine, standing flat-footed and being fully and embracing fully everything that God has called you to do, everything that God has called you to be, embracing all of that. And I feel like this season that I am in, I don't know that I'm all the way straight, but I'm most definitely, my back isn't like this. I'm coming up. You know what I mean? It's like in those movies where you watch, whoever your protagonist is in the movie, and maybe they're down and the camera will pan out and you see the person kind of get up and you start clapping because you're like, oh, they got their strength up.
Yeah.
Help coming off. That's the phase that I feel like I'm in, where I am literally coming up.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the thing is that when you think about just like the physicality of that, and like how when you're crouched over and or hunched over and you have poor posture, and like there's like this continual pain, like this continual like dull ache that you're always in. And when you begin to stand up, using the metaphor you use, stand straight up, stand flat-footed, it feels uncomfortable.
Right.
To course correct, right? Mm. And once you get into this posture, and this becomes the new normal, crouching becomes painful.
Right.
You know what? And the thing is that, and then it serves as a buffer. You're like, okay, if this hurts, let me check my posture.
Right.
Wrong position. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's so amazing to hear. And so to close, because you have mogul status over there with okay. What? This is a question we asked for you. Not only because I'm going to assume that it's not only because you and I are good girlfriends.
Uh-huh.
But because you actually believed in the vision of my Vulva and Me.
Oh, yes.
And so with that being the case, what do you feel like your connection to this anthology, eventually this brand, Come On Jesus, Do It, and just your piece, your story, what do you think that offers to the life of another Black woman?
It's everything. It is the education I wish I had. It is the relatability of someone looking and going through those things that I'm going through. It is the freedom. It is the exhale. It's all of those things wrapped into one to show, demonstrate. And this is what's so special and truly unique about you specifically occupying this space. And the inspiration that it brings to me is that I've always, and you've said this to me before, but I've always thought of God and sex as opposition. There's this gap that exists. And so the idea of someone literally merging those two worlds as a sexologist, Christian, and occupying a very unique space, and then to couple that with being a Black woman, it's mind-blowing. It's a connection that most of us recognize that we need, but there's not enough people fulfilling.
Yeah.
So to have this book of different women and their stories, you're going to find yourself in one of these stories. There's just no way you're not going to. That's powerful. It's part of shame and isolation. Part of shame is feeling like it's only you. You're the only person being affected. And so if you can find one other person that looks like you and is sharing a similar story as you, there's freedom just in that. There's a lot of freedom in that. And so all of that, I feel like it's such a special movement. It's such a special brand, such a special space that you're occupying. But in addition, it's everything that I always wanted as well. So that's what, that's the drawing connective tissue to me that always immediately when I have any conversations, I'm wearing your shirt, I'm like, so you coming back on the podcast or not? Because these are the conversations that I always want people to, I want to challenge people, not to a point where you feel like you have a reprobated mind, but I also want you to be so challenged that you start to realize, have I actually read this in the word, or am I regurgitating what people have told me? Do I have my own conviction about this, or have I been self-imposed based on other people? These are questions you have to ask yourself. And that's the story and the journey, again, that I'm on. And so to be connected, again, I feel like you're one of one. I'm not quite sure who else exists in this space, specifically with the churchy background. Like it's just a unique coupling of that I don't know, I get really excited talking about it.
Well, listen, thank you so very much. Thank you for your support, like just in general. Thank you for being 10, like I can know that you like 10 toes down, something pop off with me, it's the clip for me, started a thing.
It did. Listen.
I mean, it's a movement now, but like folks were upset, and we talked about it before, understandably so, but it just shows that there's some work to do and some conversations that need to be had. And the fact that I get to really do this work with you, because in addition to us developing a relationship and, partnering together in business wise, like I actually consider you a colleague. And so I thank you for the work that you're doing. I wish you the best of all. I mean, this sounds like I'm never going to see you again, but I wish you the best with, MKOS rebrand and just everything that you're doing. Just let everybody know before you go if they don't know, which I'm sure they do, but anyway, just for good measure, one more time for good measure, let them know where they can find you, where they can keep in contact.
Okay, so you can find me at Miss Kev on Stage on all social media platforms, whether that's I shouldn't say all the ones, the big ones, child. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not doing the TikTok. I'm not really be doing the Twitter. So just the Instagram, the YouTube, and the Facebook. Miss Kev on Stage on all of those platforms.
Awesome. Make sure y'all go check her out right now. Check out all of the behind the scenes things that she's got going on with all of the things that are dropping. Is the Black Love Summit, is that a replay available or no? They missed it.
Yes, actually, there is a replay available. Actually, I don't know if it's still available. It was last weekend. You might still be able to do it, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, hopefully you can, but if not, you missed it. But
sorry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I truly, truly appreciate it. And I will have your books, your copies on your way to you for very soon.
Oh, thank you. I need to buy these. I should give them out. Okay, I love you. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to first point out the fact that I haven't started crying yet, because if you know me, it takes nothing for the waterworks to start. Brandy almost had me, but I'm yet holding on, and I think that should be acknowledged. Now, this next person that we're going to talk to she's a sweetheart. And we connected, she reached out to me about business stuff, and then we stayed cool. Since then, and she submitted her piece, and I read it, and I'm like, obviously, we were going to do this. We worked on getting it in on time, but she'll tell you about that. And then she just recently released her own platform, or started her own platform regarding sexual health and sexuality and what it means to be a Black woman. And I am just so golly proud of the work that she's doing. And it's so funny. I don't think she doesn't even know this, but I was actually getting ready to reach out to her that I was considering taking on an intern because, God is moving and stuff is happening and I need help. But like literally the day before I was getting ready to send the email, she released her brand and I was like, oh, well, there's that. And then I was like, yes, girlfriend, do your thing. So I am so grateful for her and I can't wait for you all to meet her so we can have a conversation with Miss Sierra Smith.
Hello.
Hi. Wait, first of all, your last name is Smith, right? I didn't make that up.
It is for now. Ask me again in a couple of months, it'll be different. But it is for now. Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. How are you? First of all, you could have still called me. You could have still let me know.
We co-bosses in this thing. You got your own thing on it. You ain't gonna even. We ain't even doing that. Now we down.
Okay.
Again, thank you so much. And you know, you and I, we had our, because you was like, can I get it? I need a week. I need some more time. And I'm like, ma'am. But now that you wrote it, you submitted it, and you told the story, honey.
All my business.
All of it. How do you feel?
I am first honored, honestly, like that you accepted my piece, and for your grace. I thank you with the deadline. I needed just a little more time. That was mostly nerves, working through that. So I'm super honored to even be a part of My Vulva and Me. I think it's going to be super important and helpful to so many people. I am nervous because I did tell all my little business. I had to call my mama before I posted about it. And I was like, listen, there's this book coming out. I wrote some things. We'll talk about it when it come out. But I'm also just super excited because I really do feel like it's going to be a blessing to so many people. So I'm happy. I'm excited.
And so a bigger part of the story is this name change that you speak about that's getting ready to come in a couple months. So how does have you had conversations with your soon-to-be husband about this story, about it being shared, about his integral part in the story?
Yeah, so we've been having the hard conversations from the beginning, honestly. And so part of how it even got to be submitted is I told him multiple times, I'm not doing it. I changed my mind. Like, I'm too nervous about it and I'm not doing it. I quit. I'm not. And he was like, okay, so you can take a break today and then we'll get back on it tomorrow. And so we've been having the conversations around what my childhood and my own experiences and how those have shaped our relationship literally from the beginning. Like, as I wrote about, I was like, listen, I don't even know if this is going to be a relationship because it seems like we may not be on the same page about some things. And so we had to break through that before we were even officially dating. And so at this point, he's super supportive of literally everything I do. And he's like, it's your business, it's your story. If you want to tell it, then tell it, and somebody needs to hear it.
So one of the parts of the story that I resonated with the most, I was reading it and I was like, yes, this part, like what? Was you talked about body count. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean for the folks watching who don't, My Vulva and Me is an anthology of stories for, by, and about Black women. I want to assume that most Black women watching know what a body count is. But I also do not want to assume, because, you never know folks' upbringing. And we also may have some non-family members among us. Because when we are fabulous, great things, they like to watch.
Right.
Hey, visitors. So, what is that? And why do you feel, in your professional opinion, come on, ma'am, that count is a conversation that we're still having in 2020?
Okay, so body count is typically the number of people that someone has sex with. So sometimes when people are starting to date, I'm like, oh, what's your body count? Where you been? Who you been with? That sort of thing. And so I'm not entirely sure why we're still having the conversation, because I'm like, me telling you how many people I've been with don't tell you my STI status. It don't tell you if I engage in safer sex practices. It don't tell you the things that you really need to be asking and that you really, might actually be relevant. But I think there's still this idea around, how many people someone has had sex with, that being connected to their worth and their value as a partner. I don't believe that that's true at all. I don't think that the two have anything to do with each other, but I guess there's still that idea out there, and that's why we're still having this conversation. And so, we didn't get into the nitty gritty. Me and my partner didn't, because I was just kind of like, if you're not going to ask, I'm not going to volunteer, because that ain't really none of your business. That ain't got nothing to do with you. But yeah, it's a conversation that a lot of people are still having.
Okay. And so thinking about your story, and I don't want to give it away, but you made a decision.
Mm-hmm.
In your story, you talk about this decision that you made, and you made it, and it's a decision that aligns with a belief system, but you didn't necessarily make it because of your belief system.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say, as we wrap up, that decision and the reason behind that decision, as opposed to why people typically make that decision? What do you think the meat of that process offers to the life of another Black woman?
I think it's about knowing that you have to know your why for you. You can't base your why on what someone else says it should be, or what someone else told you that this is supposed to be the reason you make a particular decision. It has to be relevant to you. I tell people I've made this decision 3 times now. The third one stuck, and it's because I knew my why, and my why was relevant to me, even if it didn't necessarily fit that belief system, or it didn't fit the reasons why someone else might have said I should have made that decision. It had to be relevant to me. It was a lot easier to stick to and communicate to other people when I knew that I was doing it for me, and not just to check some boxes or because that's what was expected of me.
Right. And so I think that someone else reading your story, another Black woman reading your story, can take strength or draw strength from the power to decide.
Yes, for you, for yourself.
Yeah, and it may not look like what everyone else says. And the thing is that as we grow and we embark on adulthood, that is one of the hardest experiences, is making a decision for us. And when the decisions that we've made for our families, or for work, or for a loved one, or whatever, when we finally get to that one situation where this doesn't really line up with what I want to do, and then having to sidestep, it could be a challenging situation. You very eloquently laid out what that process could be for you. And there, someone can look at that, as I said, draw strength from it. And then just the amazingness of what Black women are, someone can read that and be like, I'm not doing that. That don't make no sense. And that's what, that's fine.
And that's okay. I have friends who feel that way, so it's okay.
Yeah. All right. Sierra, thank you so very much. Congratulations on your launch.
Thank you.
I am a fan, seriously. And low key, can we talk and help me with social media and graphics and stuff like that? Because this whole color story and all this that you got going on, amazing. Before you go, let everyone know where they can find you, where they can stay in contact.
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram. I'm working on getting on other platforms and doing other things, but I'm really just on Instagram right now at an undefined woman with an underscore at the end. Don't forget the underscore or you won't find me. And yes, let's talk. We got lots of things to talk about.
And you know what? Every time I go to search for you, I search undefiled woman. And no, that's not. And then I think it's so funny just thinking about your story and the process, and I'm like, why is that where my mind is going? And I'm so thank you.
It depends on who you ask if that would apply to me or not.
Thank you, Z. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Woo! So we so far have talked to the Brandy Briz Grove, who again wrote and sang the theme. So this microphone makes me want to sing. I really want to bust out in full voice My Vulva and Me, the theme song. But I think it will just take away from the moment, because God gave me a lot of things, but a voice is not in that way. It's not one of them. But she wrote that and she sang it and she did it for me, and I just can't even. Then we talked to Melissa Fredericks, who wrote the foreword. Then we talked to Sierra Smith. And now we are getting ready to, this next person, I don't know if y'all been following, but I did for a short while. I did these post series on silent reactions where I FaceTime folks, read parts of this artist story, and just captured their reaction on FaceTime. And this story took folks out every single time. And like low key, I'm like, I need a part 2. Now we're going to talk about it, but we're only going to talk about it like because the plot is so good. We can't really give it away, but we're going to dig into it with Miss Natasha Riley. Hey, girl. Yes. Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm good. Hi. Good.
We've been Facebook friends and we Anthology sisters, and then just getting to see you, well, not really face to face, but really getting to lay eyes on you. It's amazing. Like, how are you doing? How are things? Like, how are you feeling?
I am so excited / nervous. My mama wants the book. What's she gonna say when she read this story?
Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Okay. She's finna make you get a switch, is what she gonna say.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's just jump right on in. So you're another one who emailed and was like, can I have, no, you don't think you asked me for a time. I think you asked me for a word count.
Yes, I asked you. I was like,
yeah. It was like, is 3,500 the limit? Because I'm really getting into this and like some more. And I'm like, all right, go ahead, sis, do your thing. And then when it came back, I was like, and so in full transparency, I read your story. I read it. I think the first time I read it for like buzzwords. I read it to make sure it wasn't like anything like super crazy. I read it, just like style, like grammar, make sure it was like, if I edit this anymore, I'm going to sound like her, like, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It came time to really read it for content. I was like, I had to call some people. I had to call some people to know some people to say. And then the publisher, same thing. She was like,
"Aw."
And so without giving it away,
it's so hard to talk about it and not give it away.
Okay, so let's do this. What if you had to curate an environment for someone to read your story and to really get the fullness of it? What would you suggest would be the setting for them to read your story?
There's definitely wine involved.
No.
Definitely wine involved. Definitely be in a place alone, serene, and be open-minded about it because it's not a far-fetched story. The main character is actually someone, my ideal client. So, you get a business and they're like, who's your client avatar? That's who my client is. So it's not a far-fetched story. And so I just want people to have an open mind when you read it, that sometimes we're put in places where we don't speak up and it makes us make certain decisions that are not the best decisions, but we make those decisions and it is what it is. And it doesn't make us a bad person. Like, I was really nervous about sending it to you because I was like, this is too much. This is not right. This is not godly.
Jesus ain't in this here.
But it's real. Like, it's real. And that's what we're going through, especially as Black women, as we take back our sexuality and identify what our pleasures are. And when we realize I'm not being pleased the way that I want to be, like, what do we do with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, like, it's not godly. There was some talks. There was some wrestling. There was some serious conversations about, between me and the team, like, where does this fit? Because the book is separated by themes.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, I think we had it like where we had it initially. It was like it went from "I love you, Lord," and I lift my voice to "Don't stop," and I was like, "Whoa!" It's no shame. These folks into this because the reality of it is, My Vulva and Me is not a Christian book, right? I am a Christian sexologist. Everything I do to the glory and for the glory of God. And I'm mindful of that in all spaces. But also as a sexologist, my reach and my, platform connects me with folks who that is not that either they do love Jesus and their expression is unique, or they're not checking for Jesus at all. It's a variety. And when it comes to women, although Black people love Jesus, Black women make up more of the church than any other demographic. Right. That's like, this isn't a evangelism thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so when we had the conversation about not necessarily whether this would be a good fit for the book, because just as you perfectly explained, this is your ideal client. This is situations that folks deal with on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. And decisions that are made in the story are likely because the main character had nowhere to turn. Right. And so and then a question that I had a friend of mine who recorded the reaction video, the one who was like, "Oh, this is like Eric Jerome Dickey," was like, it was like, where was her girlfriend? Like I was like, where was her girlfriend? I was like, why didn't so-and-so go? Like I had so many, I was like, oh my God, like reading through it, like, no. Don't do it. Oh my goodness. It was amazing. So when you think about the fact that someone, if it like, are you a Christian?
So I'm more spiritual. So I have the God thing, but I'm more flow.
So you're not like, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. No man comes to the Father but through him. That.
No.
Right on. So for someone who is saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized, who loves the Lord with all their heart, mind, and soul, who love their neighbor as themselves, who go ye therefore into all nations, baptizing in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Somebody who's like that.
Yes.
What do you think they would be able to get from your story?
That we are all human, and sometimes we are moved by things we would like to ignore, by emotions, by urges, because it doesn't matter who you are and what you believe in, you still have your urges as a woman.
Yeah.
And those can still lead you, regardless of who you are, into decisions that are not the best. But to be able to talk about it and not be ashamed to have the conversation about it.
Yeah.
And not go down like she went down the rabbit hole by herself, even though she had a friend. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Like, use your support system. If you're not getting what you need, like, reach out and use the support system to figure out, where do I go from here?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the hardest things for us to do. I see very often also, like with my clients, the folks that are able to see a support system. Because the thing is that needing help and not having it is very different from needing help and not reaching out to. Because I think I put a post the other day about not wasting time, money, and energy trying to prove that you don't need anyone. Mm-hmm. Pushback from folks, like, that's a trauma response, and people, I've been on my own for all this time and things like that, which is a very real experience for folks. But then are also folks who, for pride or whatever reason, don't reach out for help, or may not have ever had a space to recognize that this is a problem, or connecting their lived experience with decision making that can find them very easily in our main character's position.
Mm-hmm. And so shame, the shame piece for someone that is like godly, and I love my family, and my husband is my everything.
Yeah.
To feel those urges or to be thinking specific things and to be ashamed because I shouldn't be doing that. Like I am in this godly box, and my mind should not go that way. But it's like it does. It's real. Like it happens a lot. Just because you're committed doesn't mean your mind doesn't go somewhere.
Yeah. And so one thing I'm hopeful for, and I believe, I'm confident that at least one person, and you know, that say, will there be one? If there's only one, God is still glorified, that will read your story and if nothing else, begin to speak up and begin to, you know, reach out and fight for, advocate for that which is theirs, inherently theirs.
Mhm.
Natasha, thank you so much for your story, your creativity. You are an amazing writer.
Aw, thank
The words
you.
literally leapt off the page. I was like seriously, my Explorer candle that I released, my Explorer candle is the candle version of your story. Like, swear to God, like for real. And so, thank you so much. Your books will be on their way to you very soon. I'm so happy to be Anthology Sisters with you, and I am so grateful and hopeful for all the things that'll be coming for you as far as success. So let everybody know where they can stay in contact with you, where they can check out all the things that you do.
So you can follow me on Facebook, Natasha Chantel Sex and Intimacy Coaching, and on Instagram, Closet Freak Chronicles.
Awesome. Thanks, Natasha. Now, I didn't name the other stories. I don't think I did. But even if I did, her story is called I Chose Dark Chocolate. You want to read this story. If you like Fly Girl, Coldest Winter Ever, Milk in My Coffee, Friends and Lovers, those type of books, True to the Game, then I Chose Dark Chocolate is a story for you. And the only way to read it is by going to www.intimacyfirm.com/myvolvaandme and purchasing your copy of My Vulva and Me, the anthology. And then just because I love you all, until midnight tonight, you get $5 off with code LISA, LISA, for my mommy. And you get to read it and understand all of the sniggles and giggles that we're sniggling and giggling about. So as we continue on, this next person is literally, I stand for her. Like, I need you to understand. Like, I remember I met her when I was a student at Widener, and I knew of her before I actually laid eyes on her. Talk about your gift will make room for you. This name rings bells in the streets. Do you hear me? And so when I first saw her, I was like, oh my God. Like, I am very easily starstruck. And Tanya Bass makes me starstruck. So the fact that she was a guest in the season premiere, the series premiere of My Vulva and Me, the web series, the fact that she texts me on a regular basis, the fact that I can call her and like talk to her about work, and the fact that I get to cite her in my papers is just amazing. And just now you will all see why I love her just for how she is. So without further ado, Miss Tanya Bass. Hey, girlfriend.
Hey, I was trying to get to use everything.
Yes, man. And shirt. Look at you. How are you?
I'm good. How's everything with you? You look amazing and congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you and congratulations to you also. You are in this as well. So this is a win for us. Sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me. This is a win for us all. So listen, there are certain things that are just common experiences and nostalgia for us, right?
Right.
And there's certain sounds, there's certain songs, certain visuals, and then certain smells. So your story takes me, like when I read it, I can smell it. Smell your story. And I'm just so like, how amazed, like, and so succinctly, you were able to just really convey like a really common experience for all of us and connects us from one generation to the next. So without giving it all away, tell us about my mom used Noxie.
Yeah, well, you know, as sexuality educators, I feel like it's important for us to talk about and focus on our sensuality, right? So our senses. And all of that to me was your sexual experience, even though, you know, there was no romantic involvement with my mom, but it just makes me feel good and I think about it. And so for me, I always try to reflect, and I remember how something made me feel. I can, like, smell is very important to me. Like, I think I have a very keen nose. The way things taste is important. And one of the things that I always remember, so I moved from Brooklyn, New York to the small town called Pantego, North Carolina, when I was like 11 years old. And to be clear, my mother could take care of me. It's just I really like the South. I didn't even know it was North Carolina. Let's just be clear. I was like, we're going down south. My grandma's retiring. I'm going with you. And my mom let me go. Like, she let me make that decision to see if I would like it there. And so not being around her, it just made me always think about when I was around her, how she smelled, or like, this smells like mommy, or even her ritual of getting dressed in the morning or grooming herself at night. It was serious. And I watched her, and she took so much care. So that's why this means so much to me, is because my mom was besides her and my grandmother and my sister, there were a few models that I had of Black femaleness. And so they were the epitome of that. And seeing my mom take care of herself, that was just a model for me on how to take care of myself.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tanya. So your mother is like one of your biggest fans. Like, where, like, conferences, and like when I saw our first conference together, I think it was a conference INSEC, when you did the lemonade workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy was there, and she was just like all in the mix. One of us, and I'm like, yes, mom. Like, I absolutely love that experience. So the fact that she supports you like this, how would you, if you had to in 30 seconds or less, how would you say thank you to your mom for all that she's done for
you? Okay. I would say, Mommy, thank you so much for always allowing me to make decisions for myself, teaching me about autonomy, teaching me about power. Thank you for believing in my education and supporting me and working so many jobs to make sure that me and my brother and sister have what we need. And even now, thank you so much for still believing in this work and growing in our conversations about the world and in particular sex. Thank you, Mommy.
Thank you, Mommy, for raising such a bomb behind a human being. Like, Tanya, you are amazing, like, literally. And everything I said for bringing you on was like literally true. Like, I was starstruck when I saw you. Like, you remember how I acted when we were together at Sister Song and I saw Goody for the first time?
Yeah.
That's exactly how I acted coming across campus on the way to Uno's that day. I was And so the fact that we are like not just colleagues but friends is just like amazing to me. And so thank you for welcoming me, for being able to understand and being one of those sounding boards where I can have those tough conversations about those nuances about sex and faith that I can't necessarily, sometimes I can't say in public because of the platform. But thank you for being that safe space and that listening ear for this. And I am so, being your colleague is amazing. Sharing a book, an ISBN number with you, it's like, it's just absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for participating. Thank you for coming on tonight. And just thank you for just being who you are.
I want to thank you, Brittney. I want to thank you for the admiration and the support from afar, and then becoming a friend, a colleague, and a strong sister. I want to thank you for supporting NC SexCon. You did an amazing job being here. I want to thank you for being a conference buddy all along. I want to thank you for pushing me in my dissertation. But most importantly, I want to thank you because I feel like when I met you, and maybe it was John Taylor and a few others in this work, that as a believer, I want to thank you for keeping it real and also helping people. I'm just going to break the chains of like bondage and oppression that sometimes happen in our faith, that we can love the Lord and we can love sex and we can love our sexual selves and be true to our sexual selves. So I want to thank you for ministering in your own way to people as you educate and provide information. So I love you and adore you. And as my sister in Christ, I just am so grateful that we are connected.
Nope, I'm not gonna cry. Not gonna do it.
No, we said we weren't.
We're not gonna do it. We've talked about this, and we're not gonna do it. Hold on. Get them back. They're back in there. Okay. Thank you so much, Tanya, and I'll be talking to you soon, of course.
All right. God bless.
All right. Thank you. Whew. Now, we're not going to be before you much longer. We have 2 more guests, and then we're going to bring Briz The Revival back on, and so we can close us out the right kind of way. Reminder, if you get your book tonight only by midnight, using code LISA, LISA, you will get $5 off your book. Buy one for you. It's the holiday season. Just put them in stocking stuffers. Everybody needs it because I'm telling you, there is something in it for every single person. 30 other women, in addition to myself, share their heart and their stories. This next person who I'm going to bring on shared a particular story that is really a big conversation in social media and on the news and things today about Black women being protected, and more specifically, Black women being protected by Black men. And the way she wrote this story and the way her heart, you can hear her heart in the words of this story, is just really like awe-inspiring, just for her transparency and vulnerability, but really is like a think piece. Like, what do we need to do? Where do we need to go? Where have we come from? Whose fault is it? Is it anybody's fault? Or this just like some white folk stuff that we're taking on for our own? Like, it's so much packed into this one piece. And I'm just really just grateful that she shared. So I want you all to meet Halima Hudson. Maybe we're going to meet Halima.
I'm here. I don't know.
I can't see you. Listen, we're going to keep on rolling. No worries. Hi.
No, I'm here.
I hear you, but we can't see you. It's black.
I'm here. I don't know what's happening. I can see me, so it's fair. There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
Did you have the lens on your webcam?
That's a terrible way to start this.
But you know what? It's all right because Black women, we have a black, players mess up.
There we go.
And then we keep moving.
That you see what I'm saying? Hi.
How are you?
I am so good and also so nervous, but I'm so happy that this book is coming out and so happy to meet you because I absolutely love everything that you're doing. And so I feel good. Sometimes you just feel good. I feel good.
Awesome. Oh, that's good to hear. First of all, let's just get into this bio. Your bio, I was like,
oh no, I don't even know what I wrote in my bio. Tell me.
What you wrote was, you are the inspiration for and voice of a character from the movie Frozen 2.
This is accurate. This is very accurate.
Tell the people, this is how you dripped on them with your Black girl magic. You said, right word. I put you a character for one of the highest grossing Disney films of all time.
Let me just, the highest grossing, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
The highest grossing, excuse me, corrected, consider me corrected.
It's okay.
How does this story, without giving it all away, how does that story, that experience carry you to the success that you have now?
You know what? That is an excellent question. God. And I talk about that in the story of being able to wrestle with God and how he's not mad at that, but he gonna go there with me. And it's like growing up, my mother was a single mother. She was with my stepfather for a while and then they split up. And so I'm surrounded by all of these, I have sisters, older sisters, younger sisters, strong Black women, right, is what we call. And I'm seeing these women, but I'm seeing Black men from afar. My father wasn't in the home. And then after a while, my stepfather wasn't in the home. And like I had my brothers, but it was just never that covering, right? Yeah. And so I feel like learned, because I think it's something that, I had to learn how to be protected by Black men because it was not something that was automatic because I didn't have it in the home. And I didn't know until adulthood, really recently, that I felt unprotected when I start having encounters and then start playing back things in life. And honestly, just even things, and I write it in the piece about church, you know, and dealing with men at church. And it became one of those things where it's like, I'm either gonna let this hold me down, or God and I are gonna get in this thing and I'm about to come out all the way victorious. You know, and so it couldn't be what was a stumbling block, couldn't be a roadblock, you know, and it's like, this can't stop my life. I still got to live, you know, there's still things I got to do in life. And so it was just like, this is going to exist, but life also exists. And so I'm going to keep moving until this no longer exists, you know? And so it's not something that I, at the forefront of my head every day, like, oh no, I've been hurt, I'm traumatized, I'm this and I'm that. It's like, girl, you got things to do. You got a whole life to live. You got people depending on you, and you want to be out here popping. So it's just one of those things that I was just like, it's going to be there until it's not, and I'm still going to live life.
Yeah. So you are in LA, right?
I am. Mm-hmm.
In LA, you're in what they call it, Hollywood is Tinseltown. That's what they call it. Did I make
That's what they call it.
So how does a Black woman in Tinseltown shine?
Difficulty. It's hard. I'm trying to I like to call it not so much Tinseltown, but Black Hollywood. That's the Hollywood I connect with. So I'm trying to get in with like Issa Rae, Ava DuVernay level and stuff like that. But I mean, you know what? It's difficult because like I said, I work at Disney. I work at Disney Animation, and that's like a little bubble all on its own. But going out and meeting other creatives, writers, directors, and it's like, oh, this has to become my hub. I love my job. I love working at Disney, and it's fantastic. I'm trying to stay there as long as I want. My boss, if you're listening, don't fire me. But I'm trying to build outside of that too, so that I can shine. And it's about having that hub and being connected with other Black creatives. And so what I learned is, how do you shine being a Black person in Hollywood? You shine together, you know? And so I'm connecting. So it's like, oh, your light on, let me step into that and give you a little bit of man, and the next person get that too, because otherwise it's hella dark.
Yeah. And you know what? Shining together, that is exactly what I wanted my Vulva and Me to be. I want us to stand united and illuminate. It's been in the dark, either forcibly or by happenstance, and which is our stories and our lived experience. And there are a lot of things. There is just flat out, honestly, there's a lot of trauma that part of the collective narrative of Black womanhood and Black womanhood, which is really frustrating. And I feel like bringing it to light, shining a light on it, calling it out, exposing the fallout of it is really the steps that we need to take to make it no longer a thing anymore, to make future generations not have this be their lot in life. So just thinking about your story, all that you've been through, all that you've achieved, your coping mechanism that you employ in 20 seconds.
20
Offer a rallying cry to a Black woman watching who's been through some things, but are currently on the cusp of something great.
I have a good friend who should be watching who said to me, if it ain't good, it ain't over, which lets me know the good is on the way. And so if you still dealing, you still battling, hold on, because the good is coming. You know, we as a people are resilient, and we've been victorious from birth. And whether you're seeing that victory now or you're going to see it in the future, just know it's on the way. So if it ain't good yet, it's coming. So just hold on, because the good is on the way. That's just how I feel about it.
If it ain't good yet, it ain't over.
That's right.
So, you know, with my church stuff, I just say, well, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah, anyhow.
Okay. Yes. Keep our hands to the plow, or, you know, towards the mark. All those things for the super saved. It's Bible in there. It's Bible in there. So keep on coming. Thank you so much for, like I said, bringing you on, for your transparency, your honesty, asking for having the hard conversations, for asking the hard questions, for saying the things that a lot of folks experience but don't want to say, like, I'm wrestling with God, but it's a real life thing. And you're exemplifying what resilience in the face of opposition looks like. Just
Thank you.
Really like your lived experience. And so, eventually if my vulva in me gets, animated and makes it,
Yes. Yes, already. Yes, already.
There's a really old Disney animation about menstrual cycles that is just like really bad. Now that Halima Hudson works in Disney animation,
I'm just saying.
It's something even amazing with,
It's how we shine together. We should talk. Let's do that.
Hear me, but I need you to understand that I'm dead serious.
Oh no, I saw it because when you said you gripped that mic extra hard, so I knew it. I felt it. The spirit.
I have your email and your phone number and your address, so don't act like you're finna go nowhere. Okay?
Got it.
Thank you so much, Halima, and your books will be on their way to you very soon.
Looking forward.
Know where they can stay in contact with you if they're interested.
Well, you already blew up my Frozen 2 spot. So if you don't have the DVD or you're not on Disney Plus, go get the DVD or get on Disney Plus so you can see that. I'm also on all the social medias. Full name Halima Hudson, Instagram Hudson Halley, HALI, and Twitter Hudson Halley. So follow me. I'm always doing something crazy. Let's just be crazy together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Halima.
Thank you. Bye.
Whew. Now listen. This has been amazing. Have you been entertained? Have your hearts been warmed? Did our hearts not burn? This has been great. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've just been tickled about this whole situation. But my vulva and me is together. We have a book. You'll see this? We have a book. It's on the way. Everybody's happy, right? But, creating this anthology for me ain't been no crystal stair or whatever Langston Hughes said, because it's work. And so who else to really get into the nitty gritty of how this came together? And we will close with her before we had the amazing Briz close us out with some more tunes. The publisher, Brittney Holmes-Jackson. When I say for, by, and about Black women, I literally mean for, by, and about Black women. So much so that when the book was created, we read through the manuscript and it came time for cover creation. I was like, is a Black woman going to do this? And then, we looked at it, like the logistics of they all work for her, so it still counts. But then something happened, I'm not going to pretend. I didn't like it. I didn't like it the first go round. I was like, what is this? Why are their eyes blue? No, I don't like that. So then Brittney jumped into the trenches and did it herself. We had a few hiccups. And then Kayla Polite jumped in and added some additions to it. And then now it's literally cover to cover, inside and out, for, by, and about Black women. And that is a great deal to Miss Brittney Holmes-Jackson. Hi.
What's up, sis?
Now listen.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm going to sit down for this conversation because we ain't got that much time because I don't want nobody to leave us. And I want all of the 16 people that's still watching to stay watching.
I'm super proud of you. Like, I'm not going to cry because I'm a crier. And if I cry, you're going to cry.
Oh,
like, I'm going to try to hold it together. I got my big glasses on so y'all can see the screen in my eyes and not my tears. Okay.
So listen, I can't see. My background still look cute. I ain't got no straggling.
Sis, you are cute.
Because, no socks, the children, my boys, there's always stuff around. I will make sure I was still giving what I'm giving. But Brittney, BHJ Co., your publishing house.
Stop.
Agency. Literary coach to the stars. How was it working with she, me, her? Brittney, Broaddus-Smith.
I love you, Britt.
That's
I'm gonna stop there. So you were my first big project this year. And you came in knowing what the heck you wanted. And that's what it was, and that's what it was gonna be. Working with you legitimately was a challenge because you knew what you wanted, but it had not been manifested. So everything was literally, visually, conceptually in your mind, and nobody else could see it. And you didn't even see it until you could physically see it when it was presented to you. So it was a lot. It was a lot. And when I say literally, it was a challenge in that, not that it was difficult to work with you, because you're a boss. Again, you know what your platform is. You know what the vision for this book was. All of that was there. It was a challenge in that you are a client who can't have no competition. Like, I should have only had you as a client at the time.
I don't know if I agree with that, but go ahead.
No, like, because literally, I believe that the project required a lot of attention to detail to ensure that the vision that you had in your mind was what it needed to be. So that required undivided attention. It was probably the most growth I've experienced as a publisher, as a coach, and genuinely, I appreciate it. Every push back, every push forward, every change, every can we add this, can we do that, because it truly helped me and my team grow. But also it made the book exactly what it is. Like, looking at it, holding it in hand, it's like, what? We did this. We did this. And it's amazing. I'm excited. I can't wait for everybody here and abroad to read it.
I am so grateful to, because here's the thing. I knew that I wanted, first of all, my Vulva and Me, for those who don't know, started out as 10 do's and don'ts on vulva healthcare. If y'all know Veronica, I don't know if y'all can see her. Y'all see my girlfriend back there? Can you see Veronica? Oh, well, she back there. But anyway, so if y'all ever see Veronica's animated video where she gives her tips and tricks for vulva health and hygiene, that's where my Vulva and Me started. But then pandemic happened, and then the series came, and then I realized our stories are too rich, and there's more like that. So that's when the call came. And the thing is that I didn't know where to start. I'm the type of person that I don't like spending money on anything that I can do myself. Mm-hmm. I also am in a space where I'm looking at growing to, when we talked about this on the season finale of My Vulva and Me, is the difference between price and value. And so I recognize that though the quality that the quality that you produce comes at a cost. So when you go the Brittney J Way on Instagram and want to sign up for her literary house and agency and coaching, just come.
And price might be about to go up, sis.
I mean, come coin in hand, and please understand that, friend or not, my prices are her prices were her prices. And it was just like, oh, it's on the website. I was like, well, how much is it? Oh, look on the website. And then, like, the email, you have this business question, email. You want to know what shoes you should wear, then you can text me. And so seriously, so make sure you check her out. But the thing, I realized that I wanted it done, and I wanted it done right. I recognized very early on, as you said, my vision was very specific. Mm-hmm. So much so that it was one of those things where, like, you got that outfit that you know you get ready to kill them in, and then, like, you can't, it's here, but then, like, trying to find the pieces or stumble across the right Google keywords to pull the right item so that you can everybody line up the way it is. That's how it was. And as we went through the process more and more, honestly, the biggest thing that helped me, I don't even know if I told you, that helped me see it as a full work was your addition of the themes.
Yeah. Wow.
You creating those themes, that even though, we went in and like tweaked and all of that, but the thing that I never even had that as a vision. Mm-hmm. So when you did that, that made stories like I Chose Dark Chocolate having somewhere to put it gave not only just, you know, cohesiveness to the book overall, but it gave it like a checks and balances, because at the end of the day, everything that you do as a, you know, a faith-based literary coach and things I do, like you're a Christian, and you, even if it's not for Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light verb, it's still, you want to make sure that you're still honoring God in what you do. And that was one of even the conversations that we had about some of the language. So tell the folks like even how that even came to be, some of the issue with whether this was, well, the guy was in this or not.
So somebody mentioned this earlier, and I can't remember which author it was, but I too grew up very churchy, and I'm still very much so that way, regardless of what people in the comments who know me in real life may have seen on the back end, okay? But I'm very churchy and traditional. So when I talked about the book, when we talked about it, women empowerment, that's what I'm all about. BHJ & Co. is a faith-based literary agency. Y'all talking publishing house. I'm not quite.
Publishing house, but go ahead.
Literary agency, and our focus is to uplift the name of God, but also uplift people in general, specifically women. And I was going for it. My love in me, I'm with it. Got the manuscript and I started reading, and everything's copacetic. And then I get to a few stories and I'm like, ooh, oh, Jesus, hold on. No, Brittney, but the conversation that followed, because my initial reaction had everything to do with, like somebody else said, the conversation I would have to have with my mother. Wow. And this needs to be, and I know you did this during the second season of My Vulva and Me, and you guys talked about relationships with moms and upbringing and stuff like that, but that needs to be a continuous conversation, because my whole 30, almost 31-year-old self is worried about what my mama gonna think about me putting my name on a book that has the title Vulva in it and all these curse words in maybe one or two of the stories. And sex, you know, because we still don't talk about that. Yeah, I'm grown and married. Don't talk about it. But it truly opened my eyes and helped me to navigate into this platform that is all about me and my purpose and nobody else's. Yeah. So when we had that conversation and you were firm, and it was like, because I came in firm, I said, hey, I'm going to have to change, and then you said, hold on, no, because that is silencing the voices for which I'm trying to create a space for in a world that already silences them, especially in the Christian world or realm. And I sat back and thought about it. And my initial response had to do with you being the client and making sure that you received what you wanted. But legitimately, I had some time with God, and he was like, what is the word that's being presented in this book? What are people receiving from it? What are they walking away from it with? And freedom was the thing that came to my mind. Yeah. Freedom, liberation. And it just reminded me that this book is also for me. Wow. To be free, liberated, not just in my purpose or my calling as a literary coach, a literary consultant, publisher, whatever title you want to put on it, but also as a wife, as a future mother to daughters and sons. Like, we have to break this narrative of we can't say or do certain things while also spreading the word of Jesus Christ, because that word includes love, liberation, freedom, and all the things that are necessary to have a fulfilled life in him. So the push was necessary. The conversation was necessary.
And we had a real good conversation, but during that intertestamental period, the My Vulva and Me almost wasn't. So it got there. It got to a point where she was like, I don't know if I can do this. And the thing is that I appreciate, now I was a little frustrated with the timing of it all. I'm like, I got like 47 days for this to happen. I'm sorry, what's happening? But then also I respect it, not only as a friend, but as a business person. Like, if it's something that would impact your brand overall, then you can't do it. And then we'd have rolled with the punches and made it happen. But I'm so glad that we were able to navigate that experience. I'm so glad that I was able to partner with you in the changes. Child, let me tell you something. We had revisions because of an eyebrow and a nose, like, and lips. Seriously, like, no, like, I was like, no, White, why is her lip missing? This looks like Tiana Taylor. This is Jill Scott. What's happening here? Why can't she smile? And really, and so we went there, and I was like, who shall she love? She my girlfriend, because if it was anybody else.
And what I appreciated was that we were able to have those conversations, and then we'll hop on another call. You know, we got group chats, we got other work sessions and stuff that we do. Literally, we in work sessions, and I'm working on your stuff, and it was nothing. Copa said, like, this was not something. I am strictly professional, or I'm strictly personal. There is never a gray area. You will never get that with me, which is why I'm never really hesitant to work with my friends. But I do feel like there is always space for growth. And I think we both experienced that throughout the entire process.
Yes, because patience is not my strong suit.
Not either, sis.
And so having to email you when I got your phone number and I can FaceTime you under any other circumstances when I had just a quick question wasn't the best. But God.
You sound like you still mad.
No, I'm not. Listen, I got my book. I got my book. Me and my 30 co-authors, we got our book.
Yes. And I had to slide a few stories in there myself. I was like, oh, this about to be huge. Let me put my little 2 words in.
Major. This is really going to be major. And I really literally could not have done this without you. So Brittney, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for stretching yourself. Thank you for pushing back. Thank you for even believing me. You started talking at my own book and all this other, you projecting for the future and all kinds of carrying on. But we're gonna stay right here in the moment. And my vulva in me is a thing in large part because of you. And I'm really grateful for you. So let everybody know where their literary dreams can be birthed through you and your publishing house.
Yes. So first of all, I will continue to thank you for trusting me with the project. I'm always humble anytime somebody chooses me for their services, because I'm not like a huge name, but God, it will be when it shall be. But if you want to publish your story, write your story, whatever it is dealing with your literary platform or your career, you can reach out to me, BrittneyHolmes-Jackson.com. Brittney Holmes-Jackson & Co. is a literary agency. We are opening the production calendar for the 2021 year. We're only taking 3 clients per quarter. We already have 2. We already have 2 for the first quarter of 2021. So if you look into publish, check us out. Or if you just want to write your story, I have courses online. I have a cohort story from scratch that is starting in 2021 in January. And I will walk with you while writing your story. So we are here. I am so proud of you.
We are here. Thank you so much, Brittney. Everybody go literally right now to first go to, just because of the logistics of it all. First go to my
Get your book. Get the book.
/ My Vulva in Me, get a copy of the book so that you can see the work that she does. And then go to Brittney Holmes-Jackson, or you might want to go there at the same time, like back to back, because she's getting
2 tabs.
Booked and busy. Like open them up at the same time, grab your copy, use the code Lisa, LISA, until midnight to get $5 off.
Yes, discount.
And go to Brittney Holmes to start your own literary journey. And so that is all for me. That is all for Brittney, our publisher. Hey! And now we are, so I want to thank all of our guests, thank all of those watching, all of my good girlfriends who I know PP stand up. I know y'all watching. Thank you so much. Thank you to my makeup artist, girlfriend, family, like my son's godmother, like my prayer warrior, my you good over there friend. Like, thank you, Lisa, for helping me. And when I get the rocking and rub my legs and I get nervous, and you were there for this whole process. Thank you so much. Thank you to my Pastor Joseph Brown, for being in the trenches with me, praying with me, praying. Y'all too, Pastor Joseph Brown and Lady Lisa Brown, y'all know my story. Y'all know what life has been like from 2017 to today, and y'all have been there. Golly Bougie Ratchet Crew, Vernique, Brittney, Rebecca, Gertrude, Alex, Sharonica, everybody, Jennifer, thank you so much for praying, for checking with me. But from prayer to outfit checks, like you all have been there, Petty, PP, 4L. Y'all know. Thank you so much to my children, Kaden and Carter. I know y'all not watching, but mommy loves y'all so much. This book ain't for y'all, but it's kind of for y'all, if you catch my drift. And thank you so much, Alexandria Mann, for producing the season 2 of My Vulva and Me, for producing today's show. Shout out to my sister who could not be here with me. She's supposed to be helping me today, but she couldn't. Snook, I love you. And I just want to, before we close and bring Briz on, I want to read the dedication, because I created this book as a love letter to my mother. She passed November. She passed November 28th, 2017, suddenly. Monday, I spoke with her. Wednesday, she was gone. If you follow me at all, you know that my mother and I had a very complicated relationship, but she was still my world. She was my biggest motivator. She was my biggest fan. She was nuts, like seriously. But everything that I am, I couldn't have been without her. So I want to read the dedication to the book, and then we will close out with Briz and the Revival. It says, Mommy, you got a lot of things very wrong, but you got so much right. I am who I am because of everything you were and everything you were not. I can breathe easier now that you are with God. I just want to make you proud. Go ahead and get your peacock on. Rest well, Big Meech. I love you. Mommy, I love you. This is for you. Please use code LISA, LISA, to grab your copy, secure your copy today. They will be shipping out on November 28th, which is in honor of her death. I want to create this story to create new memories for this moment. So without further ado, we have Briz and a Revival. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brittney. Congratulations, girl. Let's go. Yeah. Again, we are Briz The Revival. Brittney, thank you so much for having us. Congratulations. Such a big occasion. I'm honored. This song is called No Reason. I really want you back. I want you back, but I can't handle the more. I'm in a bad position, not that kind of position. On my knees, out the floor. I guess I'm pleading. It's too revealing. I surrender all. I wonder why I'm calling. I don't know why I'm calling. Is that I'm wrong? Cause you're protected, I'm a jerk. I wanna love you, but it hurts. And I know that when it works, we try to be alone. You wonder why I'm calling. I don't know why I'm calling. Hope you I wanna know what it hurts, and I know it when it gets us. Like you know, make me laugh, make me cry, and I'm on the past night. You make me feel good tonight. Fire on the side. Hey, for some reason, for some reason, someone make me love you, feel me, Jungle boogie, jungle boogie. Say get down, get down. Say get down, get down. Hey! Hey, it's a celebration. It's an extravaganza. When you get me open, baby. And wonder why this feeling I just can't. It ain't a question of pride. It's love. When you got my whole life to share. Hang on, baby, I can't see my kryptonite, oh no. We are pride, but we feel pain. Love is always not love thing. Ain't a question of rain. Back out, please. Hey, give me that love. that this week I'm not going nowhere, but you a wonderful light shining on the inside, and this charming skin blows my mind. God love is on fire, a friend love magnified, good love intensified. How could I ask for things more? How could I ask for? How could I ask for anything more? How could I ask for hold me and I love that. And it's blessed. Hold me and I love Thank you so much for having us. I am Briz. This is The Revival. On keys is Dom. On bass is Jeff. On guitar is Rory. And my girl Keisha on the drums. Brittney, thank you so much for having us. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Hey, 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 hey.
Thank you so much, Brittney. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody, make sure you go and cop that book. Make sure you follow everyone that was mentioned tonight on their social medias. Again, I am Briz. We are The Revival. You all have a blessed evening. Stay safe. Wear that mask. Bye-bye.